I used to think secrets stayed buried forever, until the day I opened a dusty box in my mother's closet and found the letter with my name on it. The letter that told me everything I believed about my life was a lie. And I wish, God, I wish I knew the truth earlier. Chapter 1. The box I wasn't supposed to open. I always thought my life was ordinary, simple, safe, like one of those paper snow globes that only shake when someone else decides to shake them. I didn't expect the secret to fall into my hands on a random Tuesday afternoon. I had come home early after a terrible morning at work, spilled coffee, missed deadlines, an argument with my boss. I just wanted silence, something soft, something that didn't require me to answer emails or pretend I had everything together. My mother wasn't home. I could tell by the silence. She plays the radio even when she's sleeping, because she hates the sound of a quiet house. I went upstairs to look for a sweater I planned to borrow. Okay, steal, from her closet. That's when I saw it. A dusty, taped-up brown box, pushed behind a pile of blankets, my name written on top. For Alina, when she's ready. I wasn't ready, but I opened it anyway. Inside was a letter, folded perfectly, like it had been waiting. My hands shook as I opened it. And that's when my life cracked in half. Chapter 2. The letter that ruined me. I don't remember sitting. I don't even remember breathing. But I remember the words, because they didn't feel like a letter. They felt like a confession. My dear Alina, if you are reading this, you have discovered the truth I couldn't tell you when you were young. The truth is, he wasn't supposed to leave. Him. The ghost of my childhood, the man I only knew through blurry stories and old photos. My father. I grew up believing he abandoned us, that he simply walked out one day and let the door slam behind him. But the letter said otherwise. He didn't walk away. He was taken from us. Taken. My heart thudded so loudly, I thought the house would echo. What did that even mean? Taken by who? Taken how? And then, the worst part. I tried to protect you. I thought keeping the truth hidden would keep you safe, but maybe hiding it hurt you instead. My mother lied. For years, my whole life built on a story that wasn't real. I dropped the letter. I couldn't feel my fingers. My brain buzzed like a broken power line. Because now there was a second page, and on that second page, there was an address. Chapter 3. The address that changed everything. It was handwritten, shaky, like my mother was crying while writing it. An address in a town I'd never heard of, Hollow Creek. Underneath it, if you want answers, go here. Someone has been waiting for you. I swear the room tilted. Someone had been waiting for me? Who? Why? For what? My mind raced with possibilities. A friend of my father? A stranger? A truth teller? A liar? I didn't know, but suddenly I needed to, like oxygen after running. I shoved the letter into my bag, grabbed my keys, and got into my car before fear could talk me out of it. Chapter 4. The road to Hollow Creek. It was a 3-hour drive, but it felt like 3 minutes, or 3 lifetimes. I played no music, just the hum of the engine and the beating in my chest. The town looked like it hadn't changed since the 90s. A diner with a flickering neon sign, a post office the size of a closet. People who stared because they knew everyone, and I wasn't everyone. The address led me to a small white house with peeling paint. A porch swing, moving, even though there was no wind. I almost left. My fear whispered, go back. Pretend you never saw the letter. Pretend your life is fine. But I knocked. Once, twice. The door opened. An old man stood there, his eyes widening like he'd seen a ghost. Alina? He whispered. I froze. How do you know my name? He swallowed. His hands trembled. Because you look exactly like him. Chapter 5. The man who knew my father. His name was Samuel, and he smelled like pine trees and old books. He invited me inside. The house looked untouched for decades. Framed photos. Dusty furniture. A clock that ticked too slowly. I knew your father better than anyone, he said quietly. I didn't speak. I couldn't. He didn't leave you, Samuel said. He tried to come back, every single day. My chest tightened. Then where is he now? I asked. Samuel sighed, the kind of sigh that comes from carrying too many years on your back. "That's the part you don't know," he said. "The part your mother couldn't say." He walked to a drawer, opened it, and took out a small leather-bound journal. This was his. My hands shook as I took it. "He wrote everything," Samuel continued. "Every thought, every fear, every plan to return to you." I stared at the journal. My father's handwriting inside, and felt the air punch out of me. Chapter 6. The truth behind his disappearance. Samuel told me everything. My father hadn't left by choice. He had been involved in exposing a dangerous group, something he stumbled into by accident. Something bigger than him, bigger than all of us. He had tried to protect us, tried to come home, but threats came, warnings, danger. So my mother took me and left before anything could happen to us. And my father stayed behind to finish what he started. "He believed he'd come back to you," Samuel said softly. "He wrote that in the journal, again and again." My throat ached. "So what happened to him?" I whispered. "Is he?" Samuel nodded slowly. "Gone. Gone long before I ever had the chance to ask him why." I pressed the journal to my chest, like I could feel him through the leather. Chapter 7. His final letter, the one I never got. Samuel handed me one more thing, a sealed envelope, old, yellowed, my name on it. "I've kept it for years," Samuel said. "I promised to give it to you when you were ready." My heart crumbled. Inside was a letter from my father. "My Alina, I'm sorry I couldn't be in your childhood. But I hope this secret never keeps you from finding the life you deserve. You are stronger than the truth. And someday, when you learn it, I hope you forgive us. Forgive us. Forgive him. Forgive my mother." I cried in a stranger's living room while holding the pieces of a man I barely knew. Chapter 8. The secret I wish I knew earlier. On the drive home, everything felt different. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't lost. I wasn't broken. I understood. My life wasn't built on lies. It was built on protection, on love, on people trying their best in impossible situations. I used to think knowing the truth would ruin me, but the truth didn't ruin me. It rebuilt me. If I had known this secret earlier, maybe I wouldn't have spent so many years feeling abandoned. Maybe I wouldn't have blamed myself. Maybe I would have understood love better. But now I did, and that was enough. Chapter 9. The return home. When I got home, my mother was sitting at the kitchen table, her hands wrapped around a mug she wasn't drinking from. "You found it, didn't you?" she whispered. I nodded. Her eyes filled with tears. "I wanted to tell you," she said, "but I was afraid you'd hate me." I sat beside her. "I don't hate you," I said softly. "I finally understand you." She broke down, and I held her like she once held me. For the first time in years, our silence wasn't heavy. It was healing. Chapter 10. What I learned. The journal sits on my nightstand now. I read a little every night. Some pages hurt, some pages heal. All of them teach me something new about the man I never got to know. This is the secret I wish I knew earlier. People don't always leave because they stop loving you. Sometimes they leave because loving you means protecting you even from a distance. And sometimes the truth we fear the most is the truth that finally sets